What's up, co-counsels? I'm behind schedule tonight. Okay, I almost canceled, but I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that because I won't be live tomorrow. So I figured I'll come up here. Okay. As far as Eric Adams, I had to make changes to that because I actually have to read. I have to read part of the decision. Okay. So that's a Monday issue. In any event, let's figure out how we got to the whole, Fonnie Willis filing a motion to revoke probation. We'll take a look at this. It's quick. It's like 18 minutes. I'm probably going to turn that into 45 minutes. And then we'll talk a little bit about Paige Whitaker's ruling. Okay. Let's see.
57, participation in criminal street gang activity. How do you plead?
Dang, isn't that Love's voice?
I plead guilty.
As to count 58, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. How do you plead?
Guilty.
As to count 59, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. How do you plead?
Guilty.
As to count 60, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. How do you plead?
Guilty.
As to count 61, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. How do you plead?
Guilty.
And as to count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. How do you plead?
No law.
As to count 56, participation in criminal street gang activity under the leadership charge. How do you plead?
I'm sorry, I'm reading something else. Okay.
62.
As to count, thank you, Your Honor. As to count 62, possession of a machine gun. How do you plead?
Hope you guys had a good day. I had an exhausting day. I'm tired.
Guilty.
I'm
Are
exhausted.
you pleading guilty to the offenses you have indicated because you are in fact guilty of these charges?
Yes.
All right. Are your guilty pleas and your NOLO pleas freely and voluntarily given with the full knowledge of the charges against you?
Yes.
Do you understand that you may have only a limited right to appeal this guilty plea conviction?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have only 4 years from today's date for a felony charge and 12 months from today's date you don't have a misdemeanor charge? But to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness and constitutionality of this guilty plea.
Yes.
Your Honor, also, do you
have
my-
30 days from
I was-
today to file a direct appeal from this guilty plea and until the end of this term of court to file a motion seeking to withdraw the guilty plea, which does not mean it would be granted, but that's the time period, okay?
What's a direct appeal?
You have an attorney.
Well,
they
you can
advise
talk to
you?
your attorneys more about it, but it would be up to one of the, like the Court of Appeals, I think is where this one would go. It's just the
And-
time periods.
And Your Honor, the state, in addition to the sentence we are asking that the court to impose,
Okay.
we would also be asking the court to require or
What's
to
up,
forfeit,
Brooklyn?
have defendant forfeit all of the property that
You're welcome.
has been seized and that is currently being held, that was found or recovered or taken from his home after it was searched on May 9th.
Did you have a good Thursday?
Do you have any kind of list of what that property is? I mean, I'm not familiar with what was seized.
And Your Honor, we're
We-
not,
We
we're not
do, and
agreeing.
that,
Oh, I know, I mean, I assume y'all aren't agreeing to anything.
not
or you
agreeing
would
to that.
We're not.
Present it as a negotiated plea.
we're not, but we do have a list of the
All right.
property items.
Do you have it where available right now?
Yes, actually, would the court permit us to send it electronically?
Sure,
Because we
that's fine. And then if that is not imposed as a condition, is it just get litigated as like any forfeiture matter?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
it
ci-
would be litigated
it's a
later
s-
on.
Yeah.
It's a civil separate filing
Okay.
in this court. It's not related to the criminal.
right.
It's related case, but it's unrelated.
Understood.
And we are sending that to
All
Your
right.
Honor
Thank you.
at this time. And as it relates to the conditions of a conviction under
Dang.
1615-4.
Aren't you having a good day, Brooklyn? What's going on?
Your Honor, we would ask, or as part of the sentence, defendant would be required to adhere to the requirements, the sentencing requirements of the gang statute, which at least in part require that he not associate with any gang members whatsoever. And I can read the rest of that into the record if the court requires, or I can continue with the factual basis.
All right. And let me ask you, because I know that at least while y'all were negotiating, one of the things that I guess was being negotiated was some exception for, I think, somebody that is contractually obligated on his record label. Is that something that the state would still be in agreement to?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
All right. Your Honor, as part of the requirements of 1615-4,
Yes.
Okay, so Karen Reed has 10 jurors seated so far. This is going way too fast. It's a little too fast.
defendant would, one moment, Your Honor. Under 1615-4, in addition to any other penalty provided by the code section, all sentences imposed under the code section shall require as a special condition of the sentence that the person sentenced shall not knowingly
Slow down
have.
just a tad, because there's a court reporter taking it down. And when we start reading, we read really fast. So go ahead.
This code section shall require as a special condition of the sentence that the person sentenced shall not knowingly have contact of any kind or character with any other member or associate of a criminal street gang, shall not participate in any criminal gang activity, and in cases involving a victim, shall not knowingly have contact of any kind or character with any such victim or any member of any such victim's family or household. So that is, and we've listed in our indictment the victims of the crimes, the overt acts that have been committed, and
Okay.
under the basic conspiracy law, those are the victims that we are naming. Your Honor, as this case has
Dang, love so
been tried
broken.
and would continue to be tried until the state completed its case in chief, the evidence has shown
What's up,
that the
Jerome?
defendant, through
Okay, what is Brooklyn saying? Hold on. So Brooklyn's saying that big holiday, everything is very tense, cleaning the house, cleaning everything that happened, can't complain. Okay, got it. Got it.
throughout
Kathleen?
the time between 2013 to 2022, conspired with both indicted and unindicted co-conspirators to participate in the enterprise known as Young Slime Life, or YSL, through a pattern of racketeering activity. Throughout that time, multiple conspirators, both indicted and unindicted, and including the defendant, have committed overt acts intended to further the enterprise itself. With regard to the defendant, as far back, the evidence has shown, as 2013, the defendant, along with other YSL founding members, Walter Murphy, for one, committed an aggravated assault and armed robbery against a Derek Dotson. The court has heard evidence of that presented through Adrian Bean, who was a co-conspirator in that particular act. The armed robbery of an Archillian Bennett back in 2013.
Dang, Miss
As
Love is
alleged in the
forever.
indictment,
Let's see.
defendant and unindicted and indicted co-conspirators committed acts to further YSL that included drug sales, aggravated assault, and murder. They used and furthered, rather, this conspiracy by using social media posts and music to assert the violent nature of and the dominance of Young Slime Life, which is also known as YSL.
Okay.
The defendant is charged with being a leader of the gang YSL, and evidence has been presented by accomplices and co-founders of YSL, Trontavia Stevens and Walter Murphy, and evidence would have been presented, in the words of the defendant himself, that the defendant, as shown by some of his own social media postings, was the founder, one of the founders of YSL, along with Mr. Stevens and Mr. Murphy. YSL formed, according to the evidence that has come out in this trial, in 2012, 2013, under the former version of the name of the gang called Rock Crew or Raised on Cleveland.
She's doing a whole lot of talking.
The court has heard evidence of the 2014 and 2015 incidents that have involved conflicts between YSL members and IF gang members, that included someone shooting the window of Mr. Williams' car.
I was gonna talk about a random. No, he's not that random. There's a guy called Fito out of Ecuador, and he's supposed to be some notorious drug lord, kingpin, something along those lines. And I just found out today that Fito became an attorney while he was incarcerated. That man got, I mean, he's disappeared now. Nobody knows where he is, but he got a law license, or he passed. No, I don't think he passed the bar. Did he pass? I don't know. But he did get a law degree while he was incarcerated. Made good use of his time.
And armed individuals rushing outside during shootings at Club Crucial to ensure Mr. Williams' safety. Shootings at a place called the Dugout, where armed individuals rushed to ensure Mr. Williams' safety. Shootings at Mr. Kelvin Watts committed by members of YSL. Communication with members of YSL after those incidents, and ultimately the murder of Donovan Thomas at the hands of members of YSL. The evidence has shown and will show that on January 10th of 2015, members of YSL drove a car rented by the defendant, a gray Infiniti, and drove past.
And what's Woody up to these days?
Mr. Thomas as he stood outside of a barber shop congregating with friends, and unloaded an array of bullets on Mr. Thomas, hitting him, his Chevrolet Tahoe. And
I was gonna fast forward, but it's only 7 minutes, so I suppose I can listen to Love Talk for Love.
2 other persons in the process.
Tonight, I'm probably only going to be up here for 30 minutes, maybe 35, because I'm behind schedule.
Mr. Thomas died from those bullets. Phone records show that communication was held between Mr. Williams, Mr. Kelvin Treadwell, Mr. Demise McMullen, corroborating accomplice testimony that has been presented in this courtroom regarding what happened, who committed the murder, and what happened to the guns and the vehicles that were used in the murder. After the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., the members of YSL responsible for the murder and members of YSL who were not responsible for the murder congregated at Mr. Williams' condominium called the Sky House, and they all made plans and later either drove or flew down to Miami. Prior factual acknowledgments by members of YSL include that Mr. Williams gave each of the persons who accompanied him to Miami money to lay low as they left the city following the murder of Mr. Thomas. The evidence has shown the ensuing conflict that occurred after Mr. Thomas was killed. It has shown shootings at Mr. Rashawn Bennett's home, shootings at Mr. Darren Mills' mother's home, and I said Mr. Rashawn Bennett's mother's home. Shootings unrelated to the conflict with members of If Gang, of a Lil Wayne tour bus. That shooting followed
Yeah, she's
the
taking forever.
confronting by Atlanta Police Department of members of YSL that drove to the compound where Lil Wayne was making an appearance, and who drove there with the intent to disrupt and cause harm and to shoot up Lil Wayne's tour bus. Lil Wayne was another artist with whom Mr. Williams was having conflict, according to the testimony that had been presented. Mr. Williams had come out at that time with a mixtape that carried the name of an album that Mr. Carter was set to release and was not able to because his label would not allow that to happen.
I'm just catching up on this trade war, tariff war, and apparently Trump has placed 10% tariffs on an uninhabited island.
Caused a contractual or the threat of a lawsuit. It caused Mr. Williams angst. He posted about it. He said derogatory things about the persons who were threatening him with the lawsuit. And as a result, he had to rename his mixtape to something different than what he initially intended. The person who ultimately was convicted of shooting that tour bus up, Jimmy Winfrey, is a person that I believe that recordings have.
Wasn't Jimmy Winfrey the defendant that came in? Was he rapping or something? He did something.
Come in regarding jail phone calls, rather, from Mr. Winfrey and members of YSL regarding communication about getting a lawyer. Following the shootings that occurred in 2015, music, social media postings, and other overt acts were committed by Mr. Williams and other members of YSL, taunting members of groups that they considered opposition to YSL, posting of threats of violence by members of YSL against those people. Specifically, the music, Your Honor, contained lyrics such as the following.
Okay. All right, come on, love.
I rep my life for real. For slimes, you know I kill.
Okay.
I shoot at your mammy, need to stand down. I up my stamina, take it to trial, get an appeal, take it to trial, pay for that casket. That's just if we whack them. YSL slimy and shady. Watch me whack that bitch, pop them like assist. Glock with the assist. It also consisted of a song wherein Mr. Williams sang or rapped the lyrics. Hey, this is that slime shit, that YSL shit,
Sure.
killing 12 shit, fuck a jail shit. I'm in the VIP. I got the pistol on my hip.
I'm
Fuck the
trying. I'm
police.
trying so hard not to laugh. But hold on, we need to go back to ADA love rapping. Hold on. She said what?
Shoot at your mammy. Need to stay.
I'm sorry. I was trying really hard not to laugh, but I cannot help myself.
I rep my life for real. For slimes, you know I kill.
All right. What's up, Jason?
I shoot at your mammy. Need to stand down.
All
I
right.
up my stamina. Take it to trial. Get an appeal. Take it to trial. Pay for that casket. That's just if we whack them.
Never mind.
YSL slimy and shady. Watch me whack that bitch. Pop them like assist.
Girl,
Block with the assist.
she said what?
It also consisted of a song wherein Mr. Williams sang
Okay.
or rapped the lyrics. Hey, this is that slime shit, that YSL shit, killing 12 shit, fuck a jail shit.
That's kind of hold on. That kind of rhymes. Hold on. I need to go back one. I need to go back one more time. She said
Assist.
what?
Shady, watch me whack that bitch, pop up
Hold on. You guys know I like
slimes,
yes.
you know I kill.
He said what? Hold on, he's whispering. That's not what I said, I think. What did it say?
I rep my life for real. For slimes, you know I kill.
He said something.
I shoot at your mammy, need to stand down. I up my stamina, take it to trial, get an appeal, take it to trial, pay for that casket. That's just if we whack them. YSL slimy and shady. Watch me whack that bitch, pop them like assist.
Sorry. That he said what?
Block with the assist.
Hmm. Okay. Is that it?
It also consisted of a song
Uh-huh.
wherein Mr. Williams sang or rapped the lyrics. Hey, this is that slime shit, that YSL shit,
crazy.
killing 12 shit, fuck a jail shit.
She's rapping for real.
I'm in the VIP. I got the pistol on my hip. Fuck the police. You praying that you live. I'm praying that I hit. This is slime shit. 100 rounds in a Tahoe. I'm prepared to take them down. Got banana clips for all these ends acting monkey. This is that slime shit. This is that mob shit. Fuck the judge. YSL.
What?
That
Not the judge. Why? What did the judge do? Hold on. He said what?
You praying that you live. I'm praying that I hit. This is slime shit. 100 rounds in a Tahoe. I'm prepared to take them down. Got banana clips for all these ends acting monkey. This is that slime shit. This is that mob shit. Fuck the judge. YSL.
Not
This
the
that
judge.
mob life.
Not the judge.
Defendant Williams released a video on YouTube of a song wherein he states, I shot at his mommy. Now he no longer mentions me.
Dang. Not the mammy.
Act like you want war and they gonna smoke you like a blunt. Another song, I escaped every one of the licks because I was supposed to be rich. I don't care nothing about a cop. I'm just telling you how it is.
He does not care about Vivarito, apparently. I'm making that up. I just made that up, but okay.
Another song, I escaped every one of the licks because I was supposed to be rich. I don't care nothing about a cop. I'm just telling you how it is.
All right.
I done did the robbing. I done did the jacking. Now I'm full rapping.
Okay.
Gave the lawyer close to $2 million. He handled all the
he gave Steele $2 million.
killing. We don't speak about shit on wax. It's all my business. We know to kill the biggest cats of all kittens.
Oh wow. All right, are you done? Okay, I think she's done. In any event, dang, I did not. I did not catch up with the live stream. Jerome, what are you talking about? Jason says Whitaker dismissed Fonny's BS probation revocation motion. Yeah, I saw that, and I mean, as I was thinking about it, I read the motion yesterday or last night, and nothing stood out to me. Sure, apparently he commented. I have the motion here. Hold on. No, but if I close the screen, if I close I don't know. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess the live up because it's on my desktop. But I have part of it. Okay, I have part of it here. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I have the motion, but I actually downloaded the whole thing. Hold on. Let me see if I do a PDF. What is it gonna do? Can I do that? No, that just. Can you guys still hear me? Because it opened something else. Am I still live? I don't know. Am I still live? Yeah, I'm still live. Anyway, so what I was trying to do, that did not work. But I do have this window is so tiny though, I can barely see. Okay, so what she was alleging, I'm just gonna read part of it. The way I'm navigating this though, I'm gonna share my screen. It's kind of questionable because I ended up downloading the whole thing, but it's on my don't share this. So my desktop, and I guess I could probably read it. Am I sharing the right screen? Yeah, it's on my desktop because right now I'm really trying to just do a whole lot of stuff. But I downloaded this whole thing and I read it. And I don't know what on earth Granny has going on, but Granny has some stuff going on. Okay. Um, this is too tiny for me. I'm gonna need my glasses for this. In any event, when I read this whole thing, it was something along the lines of um, Granny took a picture or something of Viverito while she's on the stand, posted the picture on social media, and then I almost said Justin. I don't know who Justin is. Jeffrey, I guess, I think it's Instagram. He posted the same picture again and said something. The caption was something along the lines of her being the biggest liar or something along those lines. And the DA's office is pretty much saying, "Oh, he threatened, he threatened a witness that was testifying in, some other trial or whatever." So, based on that, um, here's one thing though. Usually probation, the threshold burden of proof is really low. Okay, really low. But in this instance, Fannie Willis just she did not have the facts. Okay, she did not have the facts because I was gonna dig up. It's been a while since I had a probation revocation hearing, but I was gonna dig through some of my stuff from my public defender days. And I'm like, girl, you don't even have to do that because they don't have anything. They don't have anything. So uh, this goes back to, when he being Jeffrey, when he entered the guilty plea, right? And when he was sentenced to probation, I said, I don't like probation. The reason I don't like probation is because you cannot even sneeze. When you are on probation, you cannot even afford to run a red light. You cannot, they literally will be after you. And in this case, as far as Jeffrey Williams is concerned, because I think he was sentenced to, wasn't it 40 years? I think it was 40 years, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was 40 years. In any event, this just signals that Fannie Willis and her office are they're going to be on his behind. Every single move. He he's going to, I mean, if he did not know previously that he was under strict surveillance or scrutiny, he got that message now. They are after him. And the thing is with probation, again, when they took their pleas and they were sentenced or whatever, I said the same thing. I said probation better than incarceration, but it's kind of it's challenging to comply with probation again, and that depends on your lifestyle and what it is that you do. Uh, they want him. They definitely they're trying to get him. So maybe he's able to keep things under wraps, but they are after him. The only way, we don't like absolutes, but the only avenue that I possibly see for Jeffrey Williams not to be revoked in the future is if somebody else replaces Fonnie Willis, because Fonnie Willis is after him. Okay, the only way that they don't pursue him, Fonnie Willis is out of office, and other folks that actually worked on this case are out of that office as well, or maybe they're not the actual the big boss, the actual DA, because they are after him. There's just no way around it. Let's see. Oh, Jason's been parenting. Jason's been parenting. What's up, Fever? Yeah, that's what they were trying to do, but the judge, Whitaker, basically said, I read part of that. Hold on. I have too many tabs because now I'm on my phone. I was trying to close some of these tabs down. I just ended up opening more tabs, and there's something about a Baton Rouge based tailor that made clothes for Eli Manning, Jaden Daniels, and Barron Trump. So I get distracted. I just open a whole bunch of stuff. Apparently, the U.S. cancels the visa for a Nobel Peace Prize winner. I don't know why. So I opened that because I have to read it later. But let me find Whitaker. Hold on. Somebody got attacked by a coyote. I have so many open tabs. I have a lot of open tabs. Okay, so let's see. Did I just lose the tab? I think I did. In any event, Paige Whitaker declined to revoke. I really hate his nickname. I still don't understand. Anyways, it's none of my business. So she declined to revoke Jeffrey's probation. She basically says that the social media post did not violate the terms of his probation. I still do not understand though. Why did Funny file a motion when from a legal standpoint it's very clear that he did not violate the terms? I don't know if they're sending a message to him. I don't know what they're doing, but she is definitely trying to get that behind. There's no question about that. I was trying to find Steele's response. I have too many tabs, but Steele's response was something along the lines of there's an insufficient factual basis. That's really what he was arguing. Okay. Brooklyn, that did sound like Miss Love, and I think it was Miss Love. Viva said, yeah, so because he did not call the DA, it's really an investigator. She's supposed to be some type of gang expert. So, yeah, she's supposed to be some type of gang expert. Let's see. Yeah, those were apparently his lyrics. I actually need to go back to those lyrics. Let's see. Whitaker's not even listening. I can barely see. Oh, they did not try to use the lyrics. They used the lyrics. And Lil TK, the kid out of Texas, I did not keep up with his trial, but he's on trial right now. I tried to tune in. That kid, though, the first time, or is it the second time he went to trial? I know for a fact that they used his song. Oh, the lyrics from his song, I think it was called The Race. That was my jam, though. Back in the day, that used to be my jam. Uh, uh, Piva says can't revoke a man for speaking his mind. It depends what he says. Okay, it depends what the words are. 15 years probation. That's a long time. That is a long time. That man cannot sneeze. He cannot blink. He cannot run a red light. He cannot. He has to be on his P's and Q's. Jerome says I was on probation for years, had a transfer to 3 different counties. Dang. I'm missing something here. Why Fulton County like it's a death sentence? What are you referring to? And I mean, if you're transferring probation, the receiving county or state actually has to accept it. So it's not, it's not that simple. And then work and home. Yeah, that is me. Listen, I go to work and I come home. I don't want to argue with anybody. I don't want to have to beat anybody's behind. I'm lying. I don't even know how to fight. But there's a lot going out there. So Jason says he has an album coming out soon. I hope his lyrics are to par or up to par. I'm sorry, you used 2 O's. That's only 1 O. But I don't know. I've said this before. I've never really been into Young Thug's music. The one person out of Georgia that I absolutely love listening to, it has to be what's the guy? My mind is fried, you guys. Hold on. Gucci. Yeah, that's the only person. Not really. I actually do listen to 2 Chainz every once in a while, but my person right now, you guys know, when I listen to that guy out of Memphis, that's what I mean. I've not listened to him in a week, but the Big 30, Pooh Shiesty. Oh, I have a song for you. Um, Jerome, I have a song for you because actually, when I listened to Ski Mask, I listened to him. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, I need to tell Jerome to listen to this. Um, I'm gonna have you listen to. Do you want to do Nuketown? Yeah, I like this album though. I like Stokely, so I'll put it. I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat. That's my song. That's my song by Ski Mask. Slum God. There we go. Let me know what you think about that song, Jerome. Okay, let me move on. I'm trying to catch up with. Let's see. Won't be talking. Yeah, what's up, Benji? Let's see. Yeah, take it. I love that song. The lyrics are a little, but during that time though, the kids were they were going crazy. You had TK, you had Y and something the mirror, and I listened to trash anyway, so there's nothing to be said about that. Yeah, and then you have to deal with different probation officers. Some probation officers will, try and violate you for anything. So far, and I'm not going to trash probation officers, but so far I've only really met one probation officer that fought for a defendant. It was during my public defender days, some drug case, kid was on probation, and the judge, it was so weird. I never understood. I don't know, he was a little off. But in any event, the judge was so determined to violate this kid. I truly cannot remember what he did. He messed up. I mean, he struggled with substances for a bit, and then he messed up one time, and the judge was ready to throw him out. And the probation officer, she was right there fighting along with me, and luckily, probation was reinstated. Okay, so FIVA says that Fulton County is an unfair state or county. Why do you say that? To me, based on what I've seen in Fulton County, they just have questionable practices. They have, and I'm not just talking from investigation to some stuff I've seen in the DA's office to even how they go about with. I think the craziest thing that I've seen out of Fulton County has to be the backlog of the rape kits. To me, that is inexcusable. I don't know what on earth they were doing. I don't know why they're not processing kits. Doesn't make sense to me, but they have systemic issues over there. So Jerome says, I have probation officers that looked out for me, never went in front of the judge, never got violated. That's what I'm talking about. It's about the probation officer. I agree. Yeah. I mean, some people, do go out there and fight. Other folks, you cannot really mess up. Fever says, TBH, I can't understand what Thug be saying, but it sounds fire. I don't even know if there's a Young Thug song I like. Let's go on. I don't know. Let me see. Young Thug. The only thing I know though, during this trial, what's his name, Mr. Bumpus? Jackson Stillwell, his music was trash. With the exception of, there's a song I actually enjoyed during the trial. I don't know, something walk, lizard walk or something. Yeah, that was. I mean, it's kind of, but I liked it enough. I don't know. I'm looking at these Young Thug. No, I cannot. Nope, can't do it. Cannot do it. All right, Jerome says that's why Yak is still in jail because of his probation officer. I never really kept up with that. Like, give me a trial, give me a motion, give me something. I'm not just gonna spend my time. Maybe if I had social media, it would be easier because folks are posting, but I don't keep up with the rest of that. Okay. Fever says Kid Glock is fire. R.I.P. Dolph. Uh, okay. Let's see. Probation officers have too much power. They They can wait before they give you bail. Probation officer doesn't give you bail. What are you talking about, Jerome? They sit on the paperwork until they're ready to get you in front of the judge. I don't know. Maybe that's how they did it in in South Carolina, but not in the jurisdictions that I've worked in. FIVA said facts. So let's see. Jerome says they need a new role. How are you gonna be on probation and you are in jail? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? So let's see. Probation officers make you wait to get bail. That's what I'm talking about. They put a hold on you. I still don't know that that's within the probation officer's power. That's more of the prosecution's, the prosecution's role. But yeah, I'm probably just being nitpicky and probably being a little bit more precise, but I do understand what you're saying. Okay. In any event, Paige Whitaker, she rejected. She rejected. I understand what you're saying, Jerome. I just would not phrase it that way. That's just me being lawyerish. Okay. Yeah, but Paige Whitaker definitely she was not going for it. I'm still puzzled though. Why? Funny, when you read that message or the tweet or Instagram post or whatever it's called, when you read that thing, I just don't know how she could have interpreted that to mean that he was threatening Vivarito. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Fever says they do probation officer can get you off. They can keep they can keep you in there too. Okay. All right. What else were we supposed to talk about? I'm sorry, I forgot because I changed the title. I really wanted to come up here and talk about um what's his name again? Eric Adams. Okay, because again, I would have, and now we can discuss this in greater detail on Monday because you guys know I do this Monday to Monday to Thursday, and I enjoy my weekend. And then Jerome says, Benji, hopefully your spirits are good. Okay, so here's the thing with Eric Adams. All right, we're gonna get into more detail because there's really more to it, but he definitely kissed the ring. Nobody can convince me otherwise. Okay, nobody can convince me otherwise. And then FIFA says, um, Adams is a cornball. I mean, today he announced that he's running as an independent. I just don't know. Here's the thing about New Yorkers, okay? New Yorkers hate the mayor, regardless of who the mayor is. I still do not see why Cuomo's trying to run. I cannot relate to wanting to hold on to power. Anyways, now I'm just rambling. Let's get back to Eric Adams. So here's the thing with Eric Adams. When they filed the charges against him, I've said this before. I did not. I just did not think that the charges were that. I don't think that the charges were that. What is this? And again, maybe the evidence would have shown something else. But as far as him accepting upgrades, when they were done with the press conference, I forgot the U.S. attorney's name, like black guy. I believe he was bold. I forgot his name. When he was done, I'm like, dude, is this it? When I first heard that charges were coming or pending against Adams, not even that. When the government started arresting, or when they were executing search warrants against some folks that worked on his campaign, I was like, I don't know, something's going on with Eric Adams. And then I think the day before they were like, no, charges are pending. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on with Eric Adams. And then they had the press conference, they announced the charges, and I was like, wait, is this it? I just expected explicit corruption charges. To me, and I've talked about a case. There's a case. Is it in Philly? I have to think a little bit. It was another public official, and I mean, she was convicted at trial, but on appeal, it was overturned. The charges were almost similar. Okay. In any event, I do not, from my perspective, maybe again the evidence that they were going to put on would have been different, but I questioned the charges that they brought against Eric Adams. In any event, he was charged. Okay, he was charged. So once he was charged, and he took a trip, he took a trip to the White House. I'm like, Eric Adams, what's going on here? And then he it sounded like he was prepared to help Donald Trump with his immigration policy and enforcement, which is improper. But it was a little questionable. But here's the thing about the actual decision. No, here's the other thing, actually. So once the Department of Justice filed a motion to dismiss, there was some pushback from the judge. And in my mind, because again, I started out as a prosecutor, and I've not, listen, when you're a prosecutor, prosecutors dismiss charges all the time. And I would have been very surprised if this judge decided not to dismiss the charges, because oftentimes prosecutors dismiss charges all the time. Okay, it's common. In this case, there were questions because it's Eric Adams. He had taken a trip to Washington, and I don't know what else he did over there, but I'm getting a tub now. I'm parenting, you guys. I don't know. My schedule is off this girl she really should have been in bed. So I'm gonna cut this short like in 10 minutes. She should have been in bed, but I'm just I don't know. Today's not my day. I'm behind schedule. In any event, so there was some pushback from the judge. The Department of Justice, they wanted the charges to be dismissed without prejudice. They wanted the ability to bring these charges against Eric Adams again. Not even that, they wanted these charges to hang over Eric Adams. It really sounded like some type of extortion. Again, I don't know what he kissed. I don't know what he did. I don't know what agreement they came to, but obviously he went to the White House. Okay. And here's the thing. Because we've talked every now and then about the attorney that one hires. And this Spiro guy, according to Brooklyn, he's the best attorney to ever exist in the world. But as far as the dismissal of these charges, I think it goes more so to Eric Adams' influence as opposed to who exactly he hired. And this is going to sound darn crazy, but you guys know that I distinguish between factual truth and substantive truth. Okay. There are folks that get off with things that they actually did in actuality, but as far as the criminal courts are concerned, either the charges get dismissed, they get acquitted, it's a hung jury, you never know. Listen, my opinion, and I'm not really into this Diddy stuff. I rarely ever watch. I don't keep up with Diddy. I don't know where they are. The last time I checked, every once in a while, I tune into the Breakfast Club, and I believe yesterday they had a headline along the lines of a Diddy. Somebody's suing Diddy for something, and apparently Beyonce and Jay-Z, they're supposed to be witness a mess. That's why I don't touch that stuff. But as an attorney, if I was representing somebody in the federal system right now, I'm going to Donald Trump. I hate to say it, but that's exactly what I'll do. Diddy and them, I don't know. I'm just saying, listen, he's charged with some unsavory charges. The accusations are disturbing, but again, criminal courts, they don't care about that. Sure, in real life, people care. Criminal courts, as far as the criminal justice system goes, the system doesn't care about that. Okay. But what's the other guy? The guy, he was in, hold on, my mind is all over the place. He was Trump's friend. What's the guy? It's not Weinstein. Ghislaine's partner. I forgot. I don't know. The name escaped me, but I see what he looks like. He was Jeff. There we go. Epstein. Jeff Epstein. Supposedly he was good friends with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump has gone out to say, or he's come out saying that, Epstein was, he did not really rebuke Epstein. I just forget what the actual words were that he used towards his so-called friend or associates or whatever. So from my perspective, listen, birds of a feather. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. But if I was representing somebody in the federal system right now, you have to do to get yourself out, then do that. And yesterday or the day before, when did they have Al Sharpton? I think it was yesterday. The Breakfast Club, they had Al Sharpton up there. I believe it was yesterday, and he revealed something related to or some facts related to the ASAP Rocky trial. So Al Sharpton on the Breakfast Club yesterday said that when he apparently was a tweet that he put out about ASAP Rocky and basically him talking about how there are no black jurors. Apparently, it was the Takapinas and them. They reached out to Al Sharpton, and that that's what led him to pretty much talk or speak up for ASAP Rocky. Apparently, they wanted him to go to California or whatever, and he's like, "No, I'm sending a tweet." I'm sending a tweet. But yeah, this just goes to show that, again, when it comes to criminal cases and probably civil cases as well, there are a bunch of other factors that come into play. In the Karen Reed trial, we're seeing it now with, the defense attorneys pretty much turning the whole thing into like a media run. That's just the different tactics that a whole bunch of people employ. But going back to Eric Adams, though, the thing with Eric Adams is that I don't want to say that the judge, screw is not the right word, but let me say that the judge actually favored Adams in a sense because, again, the prosecution or the what is this? The government attorneys, they were seeking for a dismissal. They were seeking for a dismissal without prejudice. They wanted to have the ability to, bring the case again in 2 years, in a few years, when Adams doesn't do what he said he was going to do. But the judge decided against that. So he dismissed the charges against Adams with prejudice. So the government cannot bring the charges against him ever again. So whatever deal him and, the U.S. Department agreed upon, well, he actually does not really have to carry through unless, I don't know, mob stuff. They might come after him. So maybe he does have to deliver. Anyways, let me try and catch up with these. Dang, I really did not catch up. Jason says Eric Adams kissed the ring. I would not even put it that way. Because when the news came out, you guys know I'm improper. But when the news came out, let me just pull up my text here. It was yesterday. That's not good. In any event, I'm getting distracted. Where are my messages? I sent too many messages. Oh, what I said yesterday was, no, it's improper. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because I said some really improper stuff. All right. So Benji's about to go watch the Minecraft. My daughter was just talking about that. Well, have fun. Have fun. Jerome says, going to crush it. He has no business. No. No, he has no business. He needs to go home. He needs to go home. He needs to go home. So, okay, Jerome has some good words or kind words for Benji up there. Yeah, I mean his charges are completely dropped. I want to read the rest of the court's ruling though, because apparently the judge had some scathing words for the government attorneys. I don't know. I'm not even going to get into the rest of that. Let's see. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Benji's doing a whole lot better. That's good. All right. Let's see. I did not catch up. I'm way behind. Ooh, Jason, that's terrible advice. Jason, don't corrupt Benji out here. That is terrible, terrible, terrible advice. So let's see. All right. I know you guys are just talking to each other. Brooklyn, I have no more room in my bandwidth, okay? I've reached top. Nothing else. I cannot add any more cases on my plate because I do actually have a job. So I have a real job. Okay. Okay, so Brooklyn says some conspiracy as to Epstein's case. Dr. Michael is the pathologist and is claiming that I don't know. I've heard that before. I'm not trying to get into it. You guys know that I don't get into stuff like that. So, okay. So, Al Sharpton. Viva said Al Sharpton ain't either. Oh, so what did your Jiba say about Al Sharpton? But let's see. That's a long time, Jason. And that is a long time. And that's a long time. Okay, apparently pictures of them in school together. That's funny. Send me a picture. I want a real lawyer at gmail.com. Send me a picture of Al Sharpton in his days. Back in his days. Anyways, let's quickly move on to Karen Reed. Let's move on to Karen Reed. Listen, I've told you guys before. I'd like my man to be unemployed, okay? Now this man's telling me that he's saying what? I don't know. It's getting on my nerves. Let's get into Karen Reed quickly. So again, they have 10 jurors seated right now, but they are suing Bev Canoni, okay? Karen Reed's supporters, they're coming after the judge. So basically, they are suing over the buffer zone because it was Hank Brennan, the prosecutor in this case, asked for a buffer basically to keep the Karen Reed folks away from the courthouse, and they are suing. So 4 of Karen Reed's folks are suing the judge over the buffer zone. They're saying that they're unlawfully being kept away from the courthouse. All right. And they're not happy with that. So, yeah, they're suing. And I mean, it's not completely out of the ordinary for, district attorneys, judges, and public defenders to be sued. They do piss people off sometimes, and they get sued sometimes. Let's see. Jerome said, "Well, I forgot about that part." No, I really listen. I do like my men unemployed. So when men are unemployed, they don't. They give you their undivided attention. Now they have jobs and shit. Like, what do you have a job for? They have jobs and shit. I guess that's what we get for equality, right? Okay, Fiva says they're just using black people. That's what I heard. I guess we can go back into there's a really old case. I don't know. I mean, Al Sharpton did help get ASAP Rocky back from, Europe when he got tied up over there. So I know I think they every once in a while. Oh, I want to know, what does your grandmother think about Ben Crump? Does she have does she have an opinion? I know somebody was found guilty. Who? Somebody in South Dakota. I don't know. I'm getting distracted. All right, that is the end of everything, folks. I think we've covered everything, and I'm even up here later than I was supposed to, and I missed a call from my man. Yeah, Fiva. If a man doesn't have a job, that's when he has time for me. So I missed the call, and it sounds like I cannot get that call back, which is fine because I have stuff to do. I'm up here clowning and talking a whole lot of crap, but I have stuff to do. I have stuff to do. Yeah, I don't know. We need to get him to resign or something. We need to get him to quit so I can be up here eating my kids, I don't know, snacks and shit. But okay. All right, folks, I'm calling it a night. There's something else. Did we cover everything? I mean, I could have gone in more on Karen Reed, but let's check up on Lori. I did not check up on Lori today. Let's see. Lori Vallow. Today's what? I don't think she was in court today. Was she in court today? No, I don't think she was in court today. Yeah, no, she was not in court today, so I think she'll be back. She'll be back in court on Monday, so I suppose that's why. That's why she was not on my timeline today. I don't know. Jerome is so tickled. You need to do more than text me. I want you to call me, send me pictures. I need to make sure you're really at work. I need to know what you're wearing. Yeah. I don't want to be texted. I want to be called, show me something. Yeah. But let's see what's going on here. What's going on here? All right, folks, I'm calling it a night. Shout out to you guys. We are back on I don't know, Fever's tickled. We're back on Monday. Back on Monday, usual time 8:30. I know I was a little late tonight, but as I said, I'm behind schedule. So back on Monday. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Listen, if you did not file your taxes, you're running out of time. So you need to go ahead and do that. Okay. I'm gonna call this man right now and I'm gonna bother him. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. All right. Good night, you guys. Have a good weekend. This was a great chat. You guys are great. Like, oftentimes it's like a sausage fest in here, but don't take offense. That's just me playing around. Oftentimes it is a sausage fest, though, but I love it. I love sausage fests, apparently. So, okay. All right, folks. See you guys on Monday. We get back. Bye, Benji. Mondays, no, not 7:30. We cannot do 7:30. We're gonna be here 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and then we'll take it from there. We'll see what happens. I do want to create an in-depth video on what's his name again? Eric Adams. I'm definitely touching on that. I'll try and keep up with the TK stuff because he used to be my guy back in the day. That was my guy. Okay, so I'll see what they have going on out there in Texas. Anyways, good night. You guys know I can ramble. I'm calling it a night. Bye. 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 Bye.